In addition to the United States Attorney's Office, other federal agencies involved in this effort include the ATF, FBI, DEA, and the United States Marshal Service. These are all DOJ-related agencies that are active participants in the Public Safety Partnership and who have committed to sending extra support and extra assistance to Shreveport as part of the Public Safety Partnership. The United States Attorney's Office is very fortunate. We've always had a fabulous working relationship with the District Attorney and with the Shreveport Police Department. We've worked very well. We coordinate our efforts and we try to do the best for this community. We look forward to continuing our work with Chief Smith and Judge Stewart to reduce violent crime. But I'd also be remiss if I did not extend some thanks to former Chief Ben Raymond. The United States Attorney's Office approached the Police Department in 2019 about this initiative, and Chief Raymond worked very hard to put the application together to get Shreveport committed to the Public Safety Partnership. This is a significant process. Many cities all over the United States have applied for this, and only 10 are selected each year. The Deputy Attorney General announced Shreveport's participation yesterday at a conference in New Orleans with the other 9 cities, and we're very, very pleased to announce that Shreveport will participate in this today. So next, what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask the Chief, the District Attorney, and the Mayor if they'd like to give a few remarks, and then we'll be glad to answer any questions you may have about the Public Safety Partnership, how it works, and how it may make a difference in this community. And I've told the local leaders that they're welcome. If you guys have questions for them, you're welcome to use this space here after our formal remarks are done as well. So, Chief.
Well, again, let me thank you for all your hard work over the years in helping Shreveport and the community get the best of what the federal government has to offer. I'm just overwhelmed at this opportunity today. This comes as such a great blessing to the city of Shreveport that we get the resources that we need to help me further evaluate the Shreveport Police Department, determine things that we can do better, to get up to date on new and current technology. Having all our federal partners working with us in an effort like this is going to prove such great benefits to the city of Shreveport. It's going to help us to move forward at a much more rapid pace than we had planned to make Shreveport a much safer community for all of us to live. Prior to this, we had discussed different strategies and directions that we wanted to take this police department, and through the efforts of the partnerships, there's no doubt in my mind that it's going to expedite all those great ideas that we have for the city of Shreveport. So thank you so very much, and we look so forward to working with you in this effort, maximizing the use of these resources to make Shreveport a much safer and better community.
I think the DA is trying to yield his time to me. I just want to simply thank the U.S. Attorney's Office and U.S. Attorney Mr. Van Hook for allowing us to be here today. I'm super excited. Everybody you see standing behind me, we're all committed to one mission, and that's keeping our community safe. So I'm very excited to be here today, and so excited for our officers. It takes a lot of courage and sacrifice to be a Shreveport police officer today. We just watch them go to the front lines and fight for the safety of our community every single day through a global pandemic, and they're still out there making those sacrifices. So being a part of this national public safety partnership is going to give them even more tools to go out there, keep themselves safe, keep our community safe, and we're excited about it. So on behalf of the city of Shreveport, this is a big step, one step closer to keeping our community safe. Thank you.
I would simply say this is a continuous process, continuous conversation. All the partners are continually working together to identify the issues, identify strategies, and work together. This commitment of resources and finances will help us get further along where we're trying to go. Although sometimes the faces may change, the commitment is the same, and we're all in this together to make Shreveport and Cattle Parish a better region.
All right, if you guys have any questions, we'd like to answer them, or we can kind of one-on-one afterwards. Up to you guys.
You said that this would be a 3-year partnership?
Yes, it's 3 years. And so what the department wants to do is not just kind of come in and give some ideas and walk away. The department, started this public safety partnership several years ago, and a key component of it is a 3-year commitment to come in and work with the police, identify some areas where we may be able to work together to improve, and then see if those plans that we're putting in place are working. So it's, the 3-year commitment is very important, we think, to getting this done right.
And when and how will the community feel this partnership?
Well, I hope they'll start feeling it right away. One of the things that we've talked about earlier and we've talked about before we came in here is that we've worked with the city of Shreveport and the district attorney and the sheriff and other law enforcement professionals in this city. We've always worked well together. And so a lot of the things that the Public Safety Partnership has done in other cities, we've already brought to bear against the crime problem in this city. Increased federal prosecutions with cooperation with the DA to give the DA the flexibility to work on other crimes. Training for police officers. We bring in a lot of DOJ-funded training. So a lot of the things that other public safety partnership cities have done, we've already done in this city. And we're really committed to, we've been working with our public safety partnership team at the Bureau of Justice Assistance already to let them know that we're not on step 1 here, that we're on about step 8 or 10, and that we want to make sure that we hit the ground running. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a meeting that the United States Attorney's Office will host with the police chief for us to look at, the areas where the police department thinks we need to concentrate on. But we won't stop there. The Bureau of Justice Assistance will bring in experts from around the United States to look at areas that they think that we could improve on too. Because sometimes when you get so close to a problem, you kind of miss the forest for the trees. And so we think that an outside perspective might help us all identify our problems better. Absolutely. Is that a fair way to say it, Chief?
Absolutely.
So.
How will success of the partnership be measured?
Well, one of the things that I've said, we've got to bring this crime rate down. The first and foremost responsibility of government is to make our people feel safe. And it doesn't matter what neighborhood you live in, we've got to do it, and we're not succeeding now. We've got to turn this around and bring the crime rate down. And, are we going to stop doing what we're doing if it doesn't come down? No, we're going to keep reaching out, bringing in as many resources as we can bring to bear on this problem and do our part. We need the community to help too. We need the citizens of this city to step up and take back their streets. It's time for people to say no to violence in their communities, and so we need to do that as well.
So it says that more than 40 cities have participated in this program. How effective is it after you guys come in after your 3 years?
Well, one of the things that we've seen is the different cities have had some mixed results. There's been some fabulous accomplishments in some of the cities that have participated in this program, but if you look at some of them as well, they still have crime problems. And so I think, what the chief and I have discussed is the importance of implementing. You can have all the best experts in the world come in here and help you identify what the problem is, but if you don't take steps to address it, you're not going to bear fruit from those changes.
And one of our problems here in Shreveport, I think we're still short officers. Will these funds, the $800,000 you mentioned, will they go towards possibly recruitment?
Right. The $800,000 does not go directly to the police department at all. It is to provide expertise, training, and analysis for the city. I told the mayor that that's his issue. That's something the city has to address. And I think that clearly the lack of the vacancies in the police department are an issue that the city's facing, and that's up to our city leaders to figure out a solution for that problem.
A question for the chief. What are some areas that you would like to see looked at throughout this partnership?
Research and development is so important to any organization in moving forward with intent of improving itself. And I'm going to ask them to come in and look at our policies to make sure that we are complying with current standards in our policies, that we internally are addressing the needs of our employees, just a host of things, way too many than I probably got time to talk about today, but that's going to be, in the short haul, one of the first things that I asked them to do, to look at how we respond to calls, whether we are staffed reasonably like we need to be, just a whole host of things that we have not had the expertise or the resource to let someone with more of an independent eye have a look at it. You know, the city government has been so gracious over the course of years that I've been here to provide funding to keep us up to staff. And they've done a wonderful job at that. It just so happened at this current time we're having difficulties attracting the right and good quality candidates to be Shreveport police officers, because it's my commitment that we won't accept just anyone. We will only accept the best. We will not sacrifice quantity for quality. The citizens deserve better than that. I hope I answered your question.
Chief, if I can, I just want to jump in and add to the question before. Although this $800,000 won't go directly to the Shreveport Police Department, a lot of that training that we'll be getting from the federal government will save us dollars from our training budget that Shreveport Police Department has. But I want to reiterate our commitment from city government, and I have a city councilwoman in the room, our commitment from city government to give Chief the resources he needs to increase recruitment so that we can have. So those dollars that we save with training will very likely go towards our police officers and making sure that we can attract more and really push down on this problem. But today's announcement is exciting. We're one of 10 cities that were chosen across the country. We're the only city in Louisiana this year that got chosen as well. But that's just one part. There's multiple parts of this puzzle that we all have to come to bear with. And I'm always talking about, you know, we cannot do this without the citizens. But we at City Hall, we got to do it. We got to make the right choices as well and make sure we're putting our resources where they need to be in order to keep our community safe. So I just want to add that.
Well, Mayor, how confident are you in this initiative versus others?
So I'm very confident with additional resources, especially coming from the federal government. These teams have seen this. This program has been active since 2017. So these teams have seen a myriad of communities around the country. They are looking at the most cutting-edge training. So I'm very confident that they will give us the tools necessary. And I'm confident that SPD, under the leadership of Chief Smith, will run with this program. Our local partners will run with this program. So anytime you get additional resources, additional tools to draw upon, I know our fine men and women in blue are going to do a phenomenal job. So I'm very confident in it. And we got to see results at the end of the day. That's how we're going to measure this program.
Will the community be provided updates on how the partnership is going?
Yes, we will definitely be partnering with the U.S. Attorney's Office to update the community on how things are going with the program. And obviously some things will be sensitive that pertain to operations, but as far as crime reduction in those numbers, yeah, we will be updating the community because we do have a commitment to making sure that people feel safe and they need to know what's going on around them.
You mentioned subject matter experts or someone that, what kind of subject matter experts are police now going to have access to?
Well, you know, a lot of them, you know, targeting gang violence, targeting drug trafficking organizations, you know, people that possess firearms and how to identify those sorts of things, use of force. One of the things the chief and I have talked about is community engagement, trying to get the community engaged to help the police do their work. There's so many different areas where the assistance can be provided. The challenge in the next few weeks and the coming month will be to identify those areas where we think the city of Shreveport needs it the most, and that'll be up to the chief. You know, at the end of the day, you know, they will make recommendations to him, but he, you know, the areas where he thinks he needs the help the most will be where the support's given. But the department, you know, I've got representatives of the ATF, DEA, FBI, and U.S. Marshal Service here, and they're committed to bringing their best and brightest, you know, to the city as well to talk about law enforcement, you know, techniques and things that we can do. Without getting into operations, you know, the ATF has done a phenomenal job of bringing in some high-tech crime software that helps us identify where hotspots in crime are. The FBI has similar resources that they can bring to bear in the city. Those are some of the things that we think that might be helpful. You know, crimes are committed, the violence in this city is driven by a relatively small number of people. And if we can figure out who they are and prosecute the right people, that's what we need to do. You can't prosecute your way, Judge Stewart and I, can't prosecute your way out of a violent crime problem all on its own. You have to make sure that you're targeting the right the right individuals, because our resources are, finite. Any other questions?
I have just one random question. This might be for you, Chief. So right now, we are 16 deaths away from meeting the city's deadliest year in 1993, 28 years ago. Kind of talk to us a little bit about the efforts that we're taking right now to make sure that that number is not met. I believe it's 88. Right now, I think we're at like 70.
Well, through our partnerships, one thing, through our partnerships with our federal partners and our state partners, some new initiative begun some time ago that helps identify weapons used in multiple crimes, tracking weapons back to the original ownership, then coming forward to find not only the bad guys, but to trace and track how so many weapons seem to be hitting our streets. And we're trying to get ahead of that game to stop it before they ever get to the street and have the opportunity to cause harm to someone. We're identifying through our various technical techniques and experts locations that are most likely to have violent crimes, and we're intensifying our efforts there. Just a whole host of things that I don't want to say too much about that we're doing to try to slow down that rate, which started early in the year, and try to minimize it as much as possible. So it's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, but it would not be the right time to give away all my trade secrets. Did I answer that?
Thank you so much for coming. And I know these fine people